what's up, guys? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Is It Wrong Podcast with your host, me, Ray Parra. Make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe and share. Add all your comments. We love the comments. Every time we have a special guest, there's different comments. We have a conversation. We have a great time, guys. Remember to get our merch. We got some cool t-shirts, some cool mechanic shirts, some hats, some buttons, some mugs, all kinds of real good stuff. But just stay tuned for today's guest. It's going to be a great one. What do you mean? You see what I got to do with us? What are you trying to say, Bruce? Huh?
No, I just want to take a minute and I want to honor Oz.
Yeah, come on, man.
Which would be kind of like Stryper and Oz, but since we're talking to Oz, I'd like to honor Oz. Dude, when we got saved, we came to the Lord. I accepted the Lord in a funeral home. I was 18 years old. Just a messy guy, man. I was a sinful dude, right? And I was working in a funeral home painting, and the gentleman I was painting with shared the gospel with me, and I was around dead people every day for a month, and it was affecting me because I'm like, what happens when you die, man? Long story short, he shared the gospel with me. I accepted the Lord and changed our lives. That's when Ray came to the Lord, and Tony, our drummer, and I just remember going to this Bible study of this group of guys, and they're like, dude, because we played, me and Ray and Tony played in a cover band. We did everybody, Sabbath, Van Halen, Hagar, just everybody. Maiden was our big one, but they're all like, dude. I'm like, yeah, man, this music. And they're like, dude, man, that music's evil. You got to listen to Christian music. And I'm like, okay, like what kind of Christian music? What do you got? And they're like, dude, Petra, Mylon Lefebvre, Saint. Not you. He didn't say you guys yet, and I didn't get Russ, but Mylon. And I remember sitting in the apartment with Tony, and they're playing all this music, and they're comparing Petra to Maiden. Oh, and we left there. I had a smile on my face, like, "Hey, thanks." Bottom line, I left, and I go, "Tony, we are screwed. We are screwed, dude. This music is." I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I praise God for their hearts and everything. But, dude, you come from Iron Maiden in Queens, or go to Petra and Mylon, and there's definitely a big problem there.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, then came Stryper. And I remember listening, going, oh, my God, there's hope. We have hope. I know you remember, Ray.
Oh, yeah.
We listened to so much flipping Stryper, because to me it was really one of the only ones we had that we could compare with what we came from.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and Stryper was such a big part of our lives, dude, and encouraging us, and I just want to say thanks, dude. Here you are 40 years later, still following the Lord.
Yeah, man.
God bless you. And I praise God for Stryper, and I'm just very thankful for you guys, man. You mean a lot to us.
Well, that's really nice of you to say that, and I'm sure all of the guys would thank you for that. And
yes, it's all
none of us take it for granted. Believe me.
No.
So,
Lord willing, one day we can do a show together somewhere in the life, and I can give you a big hug, and I'd love to, man.
Never know.
Yeah, Lord willing, we've been. Oh, Lord willing, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. Yeah. So, well, but that show was awesome, by the way. I just remember sitting there, and actually, Michael's wife came up, and she was standing with somebody back by the soundboard, and I looked, and I went, "That girl looks really familiar." And I asked her, I go, hey, are you Michael Sweet's wife? She goes, yes. Yeah. And I go, I thought so. I thought I recognized you, but we were sitting right back there, and I had to tell the sound guy, I said, dude, sounds amazing. You are killing it. And, but you guys sounded great. And I'll tell you, unless you really fooled me, you didn't miss a beat. I mean, it was really good. So you played well. I know your leads. I know them songs back and forth. And I went,
I kick myself every night I play those because, like, why did I play them so
Right? Yeah. Yeah, and you're like, now I got to do it live every
yes.
time.
Yeah.
And, but
Oh, man.
it was a real challenge for me because obviously the brain surgery affected me. It affects my positioning. So I really have to watch the neck. Some of my other guitar player friends that play in, you know, some of the bands here in Vegas, and I got a friend, his name's Johnny Monaco. Great guy. Plays with he played with Nuss Enough for a long time, and then now he plays with Stephen Pearson.
Oh, wow.
And Johnny and I have been hanging out a little bit. Go up in his house. He comes here. And we'll go out to lunch. There's a bunch of guys like that here in town. I'm actually belong to a Las Vegas pro guitarist group that meets for lunch, and it's really awesome to hang out with guys and talk shop or, you know, whatever. And so Johnny, I remember one time after a show we had played with them, and he's looking at me and goes, "Why look at your neck so much? Why are you looking at your neck so much?" I go, "Dude, I my brain has to really, you know, it's a hard for me to go there. I have to watch it and look.
Wow.
It's I can't even type with two fingers. That's my typing. It's two fingers. So if I go in, and I used to be able to go type about that fast with two fingers like this. And now when I do that, all the words are wrong. I have to type very slow.
Man.
O, Z, F, O.
That's
X.
sad, bro.
So, I mean, playing guitar has been definitely a challenge with that. But like I said, right before a show, I'm constantly just practicing, trying to get it down. And then when I get into the show, it's kind of like, okay, hold your breath. We'll get there, make it happen. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Yeah. And then, you know, there are times where I blow it. But, you know, a lot of times Michael's guitar, because he's playing a lot of the same stuff I'm playing.
Yeah.
We match. That's how we get that fat guitar tone, because we're both doubling up on rhythm, and it makes that sound. And then, you know, and when I'm messing up, his guitar playing covers it up. You just hear it. I think if you heard us on separate tracks, you'd be like, "Oh,
yeah.
Oh, ow, ooh, yeah." And Oz.
What's your favorite amp to play through?
What's my favorite amp?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Back in the day, you guys were boogies, right?
Yeah, I still have Boogie. I've got Boogie right here, straight up.
Yeah, baby.
Right in front of me.
Hey, have you tried the Badlander?
I have tried a Badlander, and they're pretty cool. But I mean, the Boogie's always... My Boogie's a prototype.
Oh, really?
It's a Mark IIc that was a prototype for a Mark III. So they were getting ready to make the Mark III, but this was a prototype Mark IIc that they sent over to Grover Jackson. And at the time, I was working with Jackson, and Grover just kind of said, "Hey, I got this amp. They told us they want our artists to try it out. You want to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Wow.
So I took it to the old garage where we rehearsed, and then I was like, "Check this out, Mike. Let's see if we can get a sound out of it." Michael's the tweaker.
Oh,
He's the guy that sits there, and he dialed in this tone that was like, "Okay, this is the tone. This is killer." Then, you know, and then on top of that, Michael he's always plugging stuff in and out of stuff. You know, he's the guy that came up with the I don't know if you remember, we used to use Furman PQ3s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was the one that added the Furman to get the tone we got on Soldiers Under Command.
Pretty amazing.
And that's what started that sound.
Yeah.
And with the Furman PQ3 and either a Marshall or a Boogie, And so I still have the same boogie that we did that album on. It's right here.
Wow.
And I do, in fact, I do all my solos on this, do them here at home and send them back to the studio in Massachusetts so they can add them to the track.
So years back, I saw you guys at the House of Blues in Chicago.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, you guys were using orange amps. Was it just Michael?
I can't remember. I never used the orange, but Michael, I believe, was for a minute taking them out.
Yeah.
For a minute, but and I think they were trying them for bass too, because they had bass orange. At one point, it was like, let's try this, and but then it wasn't something we stuck with, So
not the same. Them boogies, man.
No,
I love them.
As you know, George Ochoa, he's an orange amp guy, man. That's all he uses is orange. I'm like, dude, it sounds good.
I can't say anything bad about orange, man. Those are classic amps, tube amps.
Yeah.
Valve amp, if you want to be proper. But they're classic amps, and they're still making those. And I'm not sure if they're made in England or not. But if you can get an old England-made orange, you're doing pretty good. Those are great amps.
Yeah.
And I still have a Marshall GMP 2000 lead, super lead, dual super lead, made in England. I have one of those here, so I can get that tone if I really want it. I've got my Mark IIc here that I can use, and I do everything now with I use a 2 notes, cap 8. So I run the speaker out of whatever amp I'm using into the 2 notes, and then run that into my interface, and then I use their plugin called Wall of Sound, and so that comes. You can get that loaded into your Pro Tools, and then it gives you cabinets you can use and filters.
You're doing that live?
No. Live, I'm using a Helix. Yes. Yeah, because the cool thing about the Helix, it's not the modeling isn't like plugging into a regular amp, but you could get a sound with it that pretty much fools you. It'll fool people. Absolutely. It sounds good enough and gets that tone that you need.
Yeah.
And it just really, if you know how to tweak it just right, you can get something and that's what I'm using. That's what I was using at Arcata, is a Helix.
Sounded great.
So that's what I'm saying. It sounds great. It'll get the job done, but you can get different tones with it other than just that.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about that thing. Is I get great sounds, especially when I was playing covers here in Vegas. I mean, I can get so many great sounds out of that thing and satisfy the need. And doing all 80s covers or 70s songs, or needing a wah pedal, you got several wah options. You could get all that flange, Eddie Van Halen flange. You could do any of that, and it's a great tool.
Yeah, that's the thing with plugins. You can get anybody's tones. If you want Spirit Box, that Crunch City, or like you said, Van Halen, plugins, man.
Yeah. And if anything, when you're traveling, you can't always take a Marshall head or a Boogie head with you. You can't. You might be able to get some backline with that particular head and amp, but they don't always work right. And so now what I do with my Helix, I get the tone that's close enough to work with what I have to compete with Michael. Michael's guitar tone, it's just
wall of sound.
It's not my cup of tea. Okay, I can't play with it. He likes a lot of low end. He likes a lot of a notched 1K, 2K thing.
Oh yeah,
and this, he's got this sound that almost sounds like a chainsaw. I don't know if you've ever heard it.
Yeah, man.
If you go between him and I try to mimic what he does with my with my Helix, and it I get buried. That's all there is to it, But that's the sound he likes, and I play with a tone that I like, that I can play with in the Helix.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I've got that tone, and I've got my delays, I've got my pitch shifting. I do a lot of different things with that awesome little modeling unit that they've made, and I could throw it in a carry-on bag and take it to Spain. And then what I power it with, because believe me, you go play a festival and you got 10 bands that are fighting for equipment.
Yeah.
So you're going in there, and then all of a sudden, all the great heads are taken. And so what I do is I bring a Legacy 800 Galleon Kruger bass amp.
Galen Kruger, yes, sir.
It's about that big. It weighs 5 pounds. It's 800 watts, and I can throw it in my suitcase, and it rocks. Because I'm modeling, I don't really need to have the tubes.
Yeah,
I can at least get that thing and plug it into 2 cabinets, which is usually 2 cabinets on the floor, and it'll emulate what that modeler is making and make it loud. If I need to play a festival outdoors, I can crank that thing and it'll do some damage. Really will.
Yeah, and it's got a direct out of it too in the back, right?
It does, and that actually, they usually take a direct feed from me.
Yeah, yep.
So they get both. I have the Helix is set up where you can use the master knob to turn your amps up and down, and then you can use the XLR separate to go to a monitor board that goes out to the house.
Right.
And then you can set them up so that they're always the same.
That's awesome.
So that's the beauty of having that Helix, is I have a consistent sound everywhere, and even if I don't have a great amp, I can use the GQ.
Yeah, I use the Quad Cortex.
Yeah, I haven't tried one of those.
Fabulous. Yeah. We Steve, our bass player, captured my boogie, the Badlander, and man, you can't tell the difference. I'm like, my gosh, I can do this. And so we'll run that, and then I'll bring my amp. But like when we went to Germany, I just brought my quad.
Yeah.
Didn't even ask them for an amp. I just used the Quad Cortex, and it was amazing. So I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Did you go direct with it? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Well, it must be pretty good if you can just use that.
Yeah, I love it. And it sounds like a boogie. I got them boogie ears, man. I've tried Marshalls, I've tried Bogner's, I've tried everything. Oranges, all great amps. My ear always goes to the boogie.
Wow.
You're
making me think.
What are those? What's that?
You're making me think.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Well, check it out. What are those guitars you guys are playing? Sully's or something?
Michael has a deal with Sully. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's got some Sullys that are really nice. I mean, those are some of the slickest Cadillac guitars you can get. They're super great. And,
are you still playing Jacksons?
I still have one of my old Jacksons. Actually, a couple of my old Jackson solos I have. But I don't take them out anymore because they're getting old. And I don't want to. I mean, not that they wouldn't. I just don't want to lose them. It happened, and I lost them, and they got broke. The headstock broke, or anything like that. I'd be really bummed because they're original San Dimas models. Under Grover Jackson production guitars.
Those are amazing.
Yeah.
What are you playing now? Which one? Like, what's your mainstay?
Well, okay, so because I have been pretty much Line 6 has been taking care of me, and I'm a loyal guy. You start taking care of me with stuff and gear, I will be loyal to you, and I will try your gear. That's the way I am. And so I have stuck with Line 6 since 2005, and when we started touring again. And so that's why I got the Helix. And then they offered to give me some Variax guitars. They're Variax. They came out with something called the James Tyler Variax at one point. And those guitars also have modeling in them. So you can switch between the computer inside the guitar and your passive pickups. So I throw in my Duncans as passive pickups, and I can use those through the Helix, and it'll be the same as if I had a regular, a regular guitar with the Floyd. But if I need to use the Variax electronics, I can. Yeah. And all I have to do is it comes with a battery that you recharge. So I take 4 batteries out with me if I need them, and the chargers. And I slide that thing in, and if I need to drop tune, say I got one guitar with me out on the road, if I need to drop tune, I could throw that battery in and use it. Just turn it on with a momentary switch on one of the knobs, and it drop B's me. Or I can even program it into the Helix so that it detunes into other things.
Wow!
And
with the click of a button,
with just hitting one of my presets, yeah. And I can tune my B string down to an A. And when Michael's playing something where he's kind of I should say he's like tapping the A string going up the neck, I can use the B string and follow him with an octave.
Ah, man, that's great.
Just with a switch.
Wow.
So that's a great tool if I need it.
Technology, baby. Technology.
I've done it. I mean, to me, I'm a techno guy. I love technology. And I will use it if it's something I can take advantage of. And those things, if I need to do it, some of our songs have drop D, and all I have to do is turn that thing on, and I'm drop D.
Now, that's some of your newer stuff, though, right?
Yes.
Not into the old stuff, yeah.
Well, no, there's some older stuff, too. There is some older stuff. Like, if we wanted to do, if we were doing, like, something, there's a song called Rockin' the World on To Hell with the Devil. That's a drop D song.
Really?
Yes. So if I turn that on with the drop D tuning, it'll make that drop D happen instantly. Then hit it again, and it'll go back to the regular tune. Now the tone of it isn't quite the same, because you're talking about modeling,
right?
Yeah. But it does work.
Yeah,
it does work. If you only need it for a solo or for something, you can play that
song
thing
or whatever. Yeah,
and then a lot of times I only use just for a section of a song where I got to hit that on, and then I'm playing, using it, and then turn it off. There's a song. Let's see, what song is that? It's one of our newer songs where I had to play the rhythm while Michael was doing a solo in a drop D, right? But then I had to turn it back on. Turn it back off to go back to my original tuning with my passive pickups, and then it would just go right to that. And so basically, it was like, I would play the solo in the normal tuning. So I'm hitting the momentary to turn it on and playing like about 8 measures while Michael's playing the solo with drop D. Then when I go to my solo, I turn that thing off and I play the solo in normal tuning.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I mean, see, I'm kind of that guy,
That guy. Too complicated for me.
Yeah.
Give me an infinite guitar.
No. And
give me a distortion pedal and a wah-wah.
I admire guys that are just like, hey, keep it simple, and that's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
Michael Schenker.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh,
totally.
man. That guy, I don't even think he uses delay. I don't know. I know this, man. He just uses, when I saw him, I swear it was just a wah pedal.
Yeah. Straight into Marshall.
I'm like, what? Yeah. And I was blown away at the simplicity of his setup, but the incredible skill, obviously, of his playing.
I remember I got a comment from Grover one time because he changed companies. He sold his company off and he started something called GJ2. Thankfully, I got one of his guitars before he went out of business with that. But it has 22 frets, and we play 24 fret guitars because it was solo.
Yeah.
And there are songs like "Soldier to the Command" that uses that 24th fret for the beginning of the solo. Okay?
Yeah, man.
So if I don't play that high note, go, it's not exactly the same. And we play note for note, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
So
you have to, because people know. I had this conversation yesterday with Mike LaPon. People know. They don't just know the songs. They know the solos. They know every note, every bend. They know that stuff, man. Yeah.
So I remember going to Grover and saying, "Hey, man, are you going to start making 24 fret guitars?" And he goes, he's got a drawl, southern drawl. He goes, "Why do you need that?" He goes, Jimi Hendrix only had 21 frets. Okay, man,
That's
just letting
crazy.
you know. Some people are just that way.
Yeah.
You know? So
you want what you want, right?
Yeah.
Well, some of us are old school. I'm 24 frets now. Are you familiar with Anderson guitars, Tom Anderson?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, love those. Yeah.
Pretty much that's what I play. That's my go-to guitar.
Dude, I used to play those and salivate, man. I'd be like, man, I wish I'd get one of these. And then I remember Michael had one for a while too. And he was doing
I remember seeing him playing one.
Yeah, and I went up to him. I thought, like a couple of years ago, I'm like, dude, what happened to that Tom Anderson you had? He's like, I sold it. Come on.
Oh man,
dude, why?
Yeah. No, I just have one reverse headstock 24 fret. It's the Angel players are the ones I like. They got the high output pickups, and there's something about when I play them, just like a boogie. It's like, this is for me, man. This thing was meant for me. So, big Anderson guy. I didn't know if you knew of him or not, but I know you. Didn't you used to live in California?
Yeah, that's where I grew up. I grew up in Whittier.
That's California. What I thought so. And obviously, Tom Anderson's from there. I'd like to do a tour one time at his shop. I guess they allow you to go in there and do a little. They'll take you around, show you the place and stuff.
Well,
one of these days.
I have so many guitars now that I have no place to put it. And people offer me free ones, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't have any room.
You could store them over here at my house. I won't even charge you, bro. I won't even charge you.
Well, I don't have nearly as many as Michael does. He's got 4 times more guitars than I do.
Wow. George, you've been in George's studio?
He's got a bigger house.
George has got like 41 guitars. It's crazy, man.
George seems to like, though, and I have one, that the Music Man Petrucci. George seems to be, it appears to me that's his go-to guitar. The Majesty. So.
Yeah. Now, okay. So on this 40th anniversary tour, I got to tell you this story.
Yeah.
There's a good friend of mine. His name is Joe Pluff. He's from Kansas City, and big Stryper fan. Guitar player. His band's opened up for us before. And Joe, around the time of when COVID, everything shut down. We weren't doing anything. We weren't playing. Just had nothing going on, and plus, I was still kind of in recovery mode of my first brain surgery and all that stuff. And Joe calls me up one day, great friend, And he goes, "Hey, Oz," he goes, "listen, I didn't even tell my wife about this because I just thought, she's going to worry too much about it." But he goes, "Listen, I would love to make an attempt at replicating one of your original Bengal Tiger Jackson."
Oh.
And that's my baby. Okay, that was on the inside cover of To Hell with the Devil. It was an original San Dimas Drover production. Those are worth so much money. You know,
Wow.
and the fact that it was on the inside cover of an album, it's you just can't let that kind of stuff go. Well, he's asking if he could borrow my Jackson so that he can buy another Jackson of the same year and quality, and then repaint it the exact way that one's painted, replicate. Okay. So I was like, "Dude, that's a tall order, Joe." and Joe was like, "Well, think about it, man. Think about it. I mean, I really would like to do it." And then I thought about it, and see, Joe's one of the kind of guys that he gave me a Les Paul, Epiphone Les Paul that was all painted up, all custom, and he did himself. And I was like, he did it for one time when we played at Rocklahoma. He came and brought it to me.
Wow.
I was like, "Dude, that's amazing, dude." And so we stayed friends and all this stuff. But when he asked me about that, I was like, well, Joe, I said, "You know what? We're not touring right now. I'm not really using it. I'm not really taking it on tour. But I'll tell you what. You got to promise me you'll take care of this thing." He goes, "Dude, I won't even put it in luggage. I will carry it. I'll buy a seat for it on the plane." He's like, "I'll take such good care of it. I'll even insure it."
Oh, wow.
So he bought $100,000 insurance for it, and I was like, "Okay, dude,
That helps.
I trust you. Okay,
Yeah.
Not that even 100,000 to me is not enough, but I trusted him.
Yeah.
So I let him take the guitar. He had it all through COVID, and then he also had it, some other times that I was out touring and I wasn't taking that guitar, obviously, but then I remember he finally got it done and brought it back to me, and he brought it back with the other guitar.
How much time passed by?
This is like a year and a half, maybe, or more. I don't know. But he brought it back, and I have it right here with me. Okay, I got to show it to you. Do I have time?
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay right here. Let me be right back. I'm gonna take these here.
Okay. No worries. No worries.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Look at that, bro. Wow. That is beautiful.
I'm shocked you don't play that live. I don't think he can hear me.
No, he doesn't have his ears on, but yeah, wow.
Yeah, that is a cool guitar, dude.
Bro.
So let me put on my ear. Hold on.
Watch this. Watch this.
Let's see if I can get this. I gotta put the right one in my ear here.
No worries.
Okay. You see that?
Yeah, listen, I'm going to say something to you, and you're going to say, "Wow, Ray would do that for me," but I'll store that at my house for you, bro. Yeah. I would do that for you.
Okay, now you have to look at this. What he did was he painted it exactly like the original, with the exact same kind of detail. And he also, because the original had painted spray paint, airbrushed bullets that were on the bottom half of the body. It was like a bullet belt with 223 bullets. Mm-hmm. He routed out the wood and put real 223 bullets in.
No, get out of here.
Yeah, look at
and
that.
then just epoxied it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro.
You can see it shining.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Is that not killer?
Dude, that is incredible, man.
Talented dude.
Yeah.
Mm.
When I first saw that, I thought those were all painted on there. I didn't realize they were real inlays.
Well, the originals are painted. They are.
Wow.
So
He added the bullet.
he put real bullets in it, and it's heavy as all get out.
Oh, I bet.
But everything else is exactly the same.
Are those
Incredible.
Seymour Duncan pickups?
Yeah, I use the parallel axis PATB1.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of mid in the bridge pickup, and then
Wow.
the one in the top is just I think it's a Jackson, like a J50, or I forgot what they called them.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's exactly what my original has.
That's
But,
incredible.
Yeah, this thing is. So I took this on the 40th anniversary tour, so that
I was going to say, I'm shocked you wouldn't play that.
yeah, I took it out. I took it on the 40th anniversary tour because I told Joe, if I take pictures with this or people take pictures, I take it on tour. It'll be worth more money.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
If you ever want to sell it, or it's kind of a relic. Well, so then what Joe did after he brought this back, after having it for a year and a half or whatever, he comes back. He brought it back to me. I met him at the South Point Hotel, and he brought this guitar, and then he brought my original back, and then he goes, "I got something for you." And he went out because we had been talking. He's a Les Paul guy, and we had been talking because I have a Greco Black Beauty Les Paul. It's right here in the back. Let me put this down.
That thing's beautiful, isn't it, Bruce?
Yeah. That guy's talented, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
A guitar like that.
Yeah.
So this is my Greco.
Oh, nice.
Let me see if I can get a good picture of it.
Wow.
This is my Greco Les Paul. And Greco is a Japanese company that started making copy Les Pauls back in the 70s. And they made them exactly like the original Les Pauls because they couldn't afford to buy the U.S. ones.
And it plays just like the originals?
Oh yeah. It's heavy. It plays just like and then look at the headstock. I'm going to bring it.
Oh, yeah, man. Look at that.
Bring this tuner off of this thing. You can see the logo.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It looks like it says Gibson. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, and what does it say? Gecko? Oh, you freezing up on me, Oz.
Am I? Greco,
Yeah.
Greco.
Greco, gotcha. Okay.
Greco.
Wow.
Dude, look at that, man. It looks just like... Okay, so this is my Black Beauty Greco Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about, man, I told Joe, I said, dude, I would like to have a real Gibson because I don't own any Gibsons. I'd love to have a real Gibson Les Paul. And we were looking at them online. Well, he found one online and bought me a 78 Gibson Les Paul and handed it after he brought my deal back. So I have exact Gibson like this.
Wow, man. You got some good friends there, Oz.
Oh, man. It pays to be a Stryper guy.
I guess, man. Hey, you need a roadie or a tech? Come on. Hey, I'm gonna pawn off Bruce to you. And I get the guitars, Bruce. You could be his tech and I'll get the guitars.
Well,
man.
I have one more bucket list, and that's I'm gonna get a Gibson Explorer.
yeah, I used to have one of those.
I had one original, like in '78 when I was in high school, and obviously they didn't make them like they make them now. So I, got rid of it. But that's my bucket list right there to get one of those things. So
pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're a Les Paul guy or a Explorer guy. I happen to be the Explorer guy.
Yeah.
So,
Something like that.
yeah. But
anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, so one more question for you, bro. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be watching this because obviously it's Oz Fox, And we talked a little bit earlier about, the importance of prayer and really getting to know the true Christ and what he's all about. What do you say? What do you say to the unbelievers that are watching right now? Because I got a lot of unbelievers that watch this show as well. What do you say to those guys about, what Stryper's all about, what Oz Fox is all about, what Christ is all about?
Well, I mean, ultimately, and that's the main reason why Stryper exists, is just because we want to share the knowledge of the Son of God, Jesus Christ, who died for our sins.
Yeah.
And died so that we could, like I said before, this body is not the real us. The real us is a spirit, a consciousness that is alive and leaves the body when you die. Okay, but in the Bible, when you really read and understand what it points to, is the sin in our life that started with Adam and Eve broke the world and broke us, and put that the sin of Adam and Eve bred sin into us in our DNA through all of humanity. And because of those sins that we commit, which is against God, and once they committed it, obviously it turned everything upside down. The world became broken. That something had to die as a sacrifice to take away that sin, to pay for that sin. And it was Jesus. That's why Christmas is here. It's because Jesus died on a cross. He was born as a baby, as a human, but he was also God himself with us. That's what Emmanuel means. God with us. So, and then you understand that, Jesus being the Son of God, and becoming a sacrifice as an older man and never sinning in his life, he became a blameless sacrifice for all of those sins that we have that was bred in us through our DNA from hiding all the way back to Adam, which now, if you have the opportunity to wash that sin out of your body, and you can be in the presence of God again. See, that's what happened is Adam and Eve separated themselves from the actual presence of God, but God still was taking care of them, but he killed animals, put skins on it to cover them, so that he could still be in a relationship. Well, now we don't need to kill animals anymore.
That's right.
That's a deep, 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 deep subject that you only understand if you accept Jesus, surrender your life to him, and then ask the Holy Spirit to fill you. And that way the understanding could grow in you.
Come on.
And there's so many amazing things that happen after you surrender your heart to Jesus. And, we us as Christians have benefited from it, and we want to share that life with everyone else and how you get that. And basically it's simple. All you have to do is surrender to Jesus.
Amen.
Ask him into your heart. Ask him to take over your life. Tell him that, my life is yours, and I want to serve you. And then you go on that walk of learning and seeing what he does for you in your life. You can either accept that and live, and hopefully it's a crapshoot whether your life will be a blessed life, or it will be not a blessed life. And obviously blessings in terms, one of my biggest blessings is the peace to know I'm going to have an eternity with Jesus one day when I die in this.
Amen.
My body.
Amen.
And that's really what we're trying to help people understand is there's a peace you're going to get, because we know by accepting Jesus and following him, we will be in an eternal paradise with Jesus, just like the thief on the cross. All he did was looked at Jesus and said, will you remember me, Lord? And Jesus said, today you'll be with me in paradise. So that's what I'm saying to everybody who doesn't know Jesus. Man, you got to know him. You got to know him and give your life to him. And you'll have that same peace, because no matter what happens in this world's broken. You're going to always be disappointed in this world. You're going to always want a house or a car or whatever. you're never going to stop wanting something because we're missing something in our hearts. We're missing that presence of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
When you accept Jesus in your heart, he comes into your heart, and his spirit takes over, and that's called the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Yeah.
So, man, that's what I'm saying to people when they don't know Jesus. Man, it's important to get that in your life so that you can be in eternity with him. And all you got to do is simple. You just pray a prayer. You just say, Lord, take over my life. Fill me with your Holy Spirit and help me to understand what it means to walk with you. Help. And, there's plenty of churches online. I go to a church here in Vegas called Valley Vegas, and they have church online. And I can, either be there in person, or I could watch it online, or I can watch it from, wherever I am in the world.
Yeah.
And those people just love you, and man, they will chat with you. They will help you in any way they can to make your walk have an effect.
Yeah. So it's really important when you do make that commitment to stay plugged in.
Yes, you have to be stay plugged in.
Because,
because we're in this together. We sharpen each other's iron.
Yeah, man.
So that's my challenge to everybody out there who's watching this. Make that commitment. Okay, be like that thief on the cross and look to Jesus and say, Lord, remember me.
Yeah.
Put my life in your hands.
Yeah.
Fill me with your Holy Spirit. That's what you got to do. And it's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I've been through a lot of things in my life, ups and downs, divorce, losing family, to deaths, losing friends to death. I've been through so many heartaches, but you know what? God's been with me the whole time. He got me through it. And I've had purpose in my life. He's kept me alive with brain surgeries. And now I can continue on. And now that all of that is over with, I'm going to continue to serve him and do whatever it is he wants me to do. And Stryper is part of that plan.
Yeah. Hey, Oz, share that story really quick, if you would, about, that time in your life where you were just down and out and you were just ready to give it up. And then you received a gift that changed your life and turned you around, that guitar. Can you share that story real quick?
I can. Really quick.
Yeah.
But hold on one second, because I'm going to go get that guitar. It's right in front of me.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it'll be more. Yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Is that a Kelly?
It's a Telecaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Fender?
Yeah, he don't have his ears in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a Fender Telecaster. He'll tell you the story.
All right, so I was working in a warehouse, working for JBL in Rancho Cucamonga, and I was going through right in the middle of breaking up with my first wife. And it's just devastating, and I could barely concentrate on anything. I was doing inventory. I had piles of stuff. I was so behind. There were people coming in with problems, and trying to get through a divorce is could be the worst heartache and trauma. But it's just not fun. And I remember just doing everything I could to encourage myself. Man, I was listening to K-Wave 24/7 in California, and I was listening to Christian music. I remember listening to Switchfoot, listening to their song, This Is Your Life. I don't know what it's called. This is your life.
Mm-hmm.
Are you who you want to be?
Yes, sir.
Strong Tower. That song by, oh my gosh. Who's that famous band that's out there? Doggone it.
Jeremy Camp?
Huh?
Jeremy Camp?
No. Strong Tower.
Is that a band?
No. That's
no.
the name
It
of the
was gosh, what was their name?
I'm trying to remember.
Something Prophets, I think. I don't remember.
No. They were more kind of 90s sounding.
Oh, okay. Pretty sure I know the song.
Skillet.
Skillet.
Skillet. Ah, okay.
Yeah, Skillet. Strong Tower was a really, really good one. And I had a lot of people in my life helping me, trying to encourage me. But this one particular day, my wife calls me at the warehouse I was working, starts ripping me, and I was just I couldn't take it anymore, man. I was up to my nose with just anxiety, and I just was like, "Man, Lord, I can't do this anymore." It just felt like a knife was in my chest. There's so much pain right there, and it's just, man, I can't take it anymore. I'm just going to end it. I was trying to think of ways to, end my life because I was done. And right that same day that I was thinking that, a box comes into the office where I was working at. And it was somebody shipped it to the warehouse, and he had my name on it. And they brought it into me, and they said, "Hey, this came for you." And I looked at it, and it was a long box. I opened up the top of it, and there was a guitar case in it, black guitar case. And on top of the guitar case was taped a yellow note. I pulled the note off, and I looked at it. It was from this guy named Hubie. And Hubie was he's kind of a fan of Stryper, and he kind of knows us. And he wrote. You remember talking to him in a chat room one time before that time, and he had asked me. What my dream guitar was, and I told him a Silver Sparkle Telecaster. And well, on the note it said, "Hey Oz, it's Hubie. It was just wanted to send this to you because I found it in a pawn shop, and I knew this was your dream guitar, and so I got it for you and I sent it to you, and I just want you to know," he says in the other note, he says, "If you're going through a hard time right now," he didn't know anything. He says, "If you're going through a hard time right now, man, the Lord wants me to tell you, you're going to be okay."
Look at God.
And I open up the case, and this is in the
Yes.
Great, man.
and I was like, "Oh man!" All of a sudden, instantly the burdens came off my shoulder. I felt like a weight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, Lord, I get it.
Yeah.
And you're going to see me through this." And,
God is so good, man. He's so good at meeting us where we're at.
Yeah.
Golly.
I've got so many stories like that, Aaron, but
Yeah.
we only have a little time.
Yeah. We'll do this again sometime, Oz, for sure. But thanks so much, man, for being on the show, and Bruce for chiming in. And
yeah, man,
we just had a great conversation, man. Learned a lot about, mainly what I wanted to do was just to get in your head, no pun intended, as far as what you were dealing with all that stuff, But
guys, if I can crack open, I'll give you a peek.
Yeah, I know, man. I got it.
Pop it open every now. I pop it open every now and then just to freshen it up. It stinks sometimes.
There you go, just to remind yourself what you went through, right?
Oh, man.
Hey, I was hanging there for a quick second. All right, guys, listen. Thanks for watching. Is It Wrong Tonight? We had a great time tonight with Oz Fox and with Bruce Swift. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And listen, guys, seriously be in prayer for Oz and for us guys in Sacred Warrior, and really for all the rockers out there playing for Jesus, man. We're in a battlefield and constantly under attack. And I love you guys, and God bless you, man. Hang in there for a minute, all right, guys?